here is the shaker card that we are going to be making from this kit. Now, this kit gives you enough supplies to create 2 of these, but one is going to be a shaker and one is a non-shaker. And then you are actually going to have a few extra, 2 extra backgrounds left over for you to use those as a card base for another card. So here are all of the items you receive in your kit. And I'm also going to tell you about all the products that I'm using in this kit. So I am going to be using 5 of the brand new Pink and Main confetti. So I put together a little mix. I'm also using the HAI Supply rainbow confettis. So there is a little sample of those as well. I am using the brand new, these are the small A2 shaker covers. And again, you receive 1 of these in your kit. All of the links to all the items that I'm using are in the description. And if you use code DEMODonna when you check out at Pink and Main or HAI Supply, you will receive 10% off your order. And then if you purchase anything over at Caterpillar, like the awesome cutter that I use, you will receive 15% off your order. So all that information is in the description. I'm using the Sunburst cover die as my background. I am also using the brand new birthday sentiments. So here are the sentiments in this die set, and in this kit, you'll be getting congrats and hooray. And then I'm also using the brand new birthday cut and emboss folder. So Pink and Main has a couple different cut and emboss folders. Make sure you check them out. You use them just like an embossing folder, but it is multi-purpose. You run it through, it embosses and die cuts at the same time. So pretty awesome. I love the cut and emboss folders, so make sure you check those out. Okay, to get started, we are going to create our background. So you have 2 of these quarter sheets of sticker paper. You're going to go ahead and cut that in half. So you can either, if you're just creating 2, you can use the full sheet, but to create 4 of them, you're going to want to cut them in half so you have 4 pieces. So I'm going to take this now half sheet of a quarter sheet. I'm sure there's a better way to say that. And we are going to, once you get your kit, you're going to want to make sure you put everything back in its little puzzle piece. So lay them all out so you have all 4 colors in front of you, and then decide which one you want to be your background. I am going to go with this one. So to get started, I am just going to pop all these guys out. Okay, now that I have just the frame, I am going to go ahead and take my sticker sheet background here and peel off the backing, and I am going to layer that right on there. So you want to make sure it's centered and you've got that sticky adhesive going into every one of these sections. Once you've got that on there, I'm going to take that sticker paper background again and just push that all down so my sunburst frame is nice and secure to my sticker paper. Okay, now to get started, I'm going to take my green center and I kind of roll it on my sticker paper until I come to an edge and drop it down. And then I am going to start up here. And a big key to remember when you're working with 4 colors is each one of your backgrounds that you create, you need to follow the same pattern. So if I'm going to go green, pink, purple, yellow, I need to do that with all 4 of my backgrounds. That way you are using always the next one. You're not going to be duplicating any that you need for the same one. And you'll see, I learned it the hard way. Figured it out by doing it wrong the first time. So green, pink, purple, yellow. So now I'm going to take my yellow one out and place that here. Obviously, if you're not working in a camera, you can spread this out on your desk a little bit more. So there is the beginning of my pattern. And I'm going to continue this all around my frame until I am done. Okay, so I finished filling everything into my burst. So now what you could do at this point is continue and create all 4 using just a strip of your sticker paper. So now I have 2 of my burst backgrounds completed. So again, one's going to be a shaker card and one is going to be a non-shaker. So we are going to start with our shaker card. And what you're going to want to do is take your pickup tool and just come down to one of the ends where you fold that over and just kind of scrape until that plastic liner picks up. So once that film picks up, you can just go ahead and remove that. And that is just a protective layer so it doesn't scratch, which is fabulous. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of vellum, and as it mentions in the packaging of all of these shaker covers, there are 4 different shaker covers. So in the small A2 shaker cover, this is the size of the panel. You want to make sure the insert paper, our vellum here, is this smaller size. So 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my paper cutter. And a really quick and easy way to get to those measurements is to first just trim it down to 3 3/4. There we go. And then I'm also trimming this down to 5 inches. There we go. And now I am just going to go ahead and take 1/8 of an inch off, which my awesome cutter here makes that very easy. Not a lot of paper cutters make it easy to cut 1/8 of an inch off. And now I have that background. So what I'm going to do is fold, and you're folding, there is an adhesive background that is being folded inward. I've still got the adhesive covering on it, but that's what you're going to do first. Take that panel and center that. So I folded 3 of the 4 sides. So I've got my trimmed piece of vellum, and I am going to just start one at a time, fold and push down. Take that bottom one now, fold and push down, fold and push down. There we go. And now I have a great little shaker pocket. So for this card here, because you're doing a shaker and a non-shaker, you're going to want to leave out like 5 or 6 of these to add as an embellishment to your non-shaker. I'm going to give this a little huff, just in case it's staticky, and sprinkle those right in there. And then again, just make sure I have a couple left in my bag to use as an embellishment. And then I'm going to do the same with my rainbow confetti, the 1 millimeter. Give it a little huff for the static. Drop all that in there. And there we go. We have a fun little assortment. It's a party in my card. And you do have little holes for now, but when you adhere this to your card front, we are going to seal those up. So last but not least, hold this nice and flat now that you have your shaker stuffing in there. And I'm going to take my 1/4 inch tape. And this is important to seal up these tiny little holes, especially with this really small confetti inside. If I was just using the pink and Maine confetti, you don't have to be too concerned, but with this smaller one, you want to make sure you take your double-sided tape and you go all the way down to the edge. So I'm going to do it on the top. using my 1/4 inch easy tear tape, and I'm gonna do it on this side here. Push that down. So now that is sealed in, I won't have any confetti popping out anymore. I am gonna flip that over and just gently trim. Make sure you're not cutting your plastic shaker cover. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you could even use these as additional adhesive. And then I'm going to take 2 more strips. And because we are using vellum, I'm just putting my adhesive on the 4 corners. If I was using paper, you could put adhesive, but because the vellum is transparent, I would just use your easy tear tape on the 4 edges. Okay, remove your backing and then go ahead and place your shaker. I'm gonna just center it. There we go. And now you can adhere this to your A2 card base. And look at how fun that is already. And that's why I used a vellum for this, so you could still see the really fun and exciting background. So next what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick the balloons we're gonna wanna use. So I am gonna use the Happy Birthday, and this is that cut and emboss. So I'm gonna use a Happy Birthday, and then a purple, and a yellow. So those are gonna be my 3 balloons. And I am going to use I'm gonna use Hooray. Hooray. I've got my sticky background. I've got 2 extra balloons as well with my sticker paper. This is the Glitzy Silver Cheerfoil, which has that really beautiful sparkly rainbowy color in the back. And what I'm gonna do is I am gonna take my sticker paper, and you just wanna rub on one of the edges till the backing curls. And there is a shiny side and a matte side. You're gonna stick it down on the matte side. So I am gonna do my Hooray. Okay, if you don't have a ink machine, which is this guy right here, I'm gonna put it on 0. So if you just need pressure and no heat, that's what you do. If you don't have a ink machine, but you purchased this kit, you can do 2 other things. You can just apply a lot of pressure and rub down really hard on your adhesive like this. Just push down and push down, and then go ahead and peel that up. So that is option 1, which that one turned out pretty good. Option 2 is take this and run it through your die cut machine so it applies pressure on it. And then option number 3 is taking your ink machine and putting it in your little transfer folder here, running it through, and there are 2 rollers that apply pressure on the top and the bottom. All right, since there was no heat applied, you don't have to wait for it to cool. And then you just go ahead and peel that off, and you've got a really beautiful foiled item. Okay, so I am now going to take my craft glue, and I'm just gonna add a little adhesive to my words, my H. There we go, apply a little pressure. And then my Hooray. Apply a little pressure. There we go. And then do the same with Celebrate. All right, once you have that done, you are gonna take your 2 balloons and cut those in half. These are gonna be like little shadows. So you're gonna get 1 for each of them. So I'm gonna split that up and put 1 with my other one. Same with my Celebrate. And now we are gonna go ahead and apply our ribbon to our balloons. So you've got enough for both of your cards. So go ahead and trim it in half. So you could set a half of it aside for your other card. And then you can cut the second piece into thirds. So I just basically fold it over 3 times, and then I've got a nice cut one end, cut the other end, and now you have 3 even pieces. Okay, so a fun way to create this little balloon streamer is really simple. I'm gonna flip over my 3 balloons. And I'm gonna take my 1/4" tape, and I've got the ones left over actually from trimming the background of my shaker. So 1, 2, 3. There we go. And remove the backing from all 3 of those. There we go. And streamer number 1, I am going to have that just hang over a little bit, and then I'm gonna fold it down so it comes down from the little balloon tie. So there's 1. And you wanna kind of change direction. So if one's going to the left, the other one can go to the right. At least have one going in a different direction. And have that aimed down. And then my 3rd balloon, there we go. Okay, and then you're just gonna go back again with a 1/4" tape so that stays in place. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Remove the backing. And then I'm gonna grab my roll of double-sided foam and stick a little strip on each of those. So here is my double-sided foam, and I'm just gonna cut 3 pieces, actually 1 for my seine too. So 1, 2, and 3. 2, and then flip over my Hooray, and this fits perfectly, which makes me very excited. All right, now I am going to lay out my 2 balloons. So I'm gonna do this one right about there. And then I'm gonna take the other one on the other side, remove that protective backing. Maybe just go a little lower, but still keep it in my A2 section. This will straighten out when we tape it down. And then my 3rd balloon, I am gonna go ahead and add some adhesive to both sides and flip that over, and I'm gonna place my little shadow balloons on here. So 1 kind of lower and 1 kind of higher. And then I've got that backing removed, and I'm gonna go ahead and place that in the center. And now I have my 3 balloons down. And I'm gonna take my Hooray, remove that backing, and now I'm just grabbing my 3 balloon streamers and I am gonna just hold them together where I'm gonna place my seine and kind of eyeball it. When I'm happy with it, push that down, and then you can go ahead and trim these. But it's kind of fun that they're not glued down, so they're still popping up. And that is our shaker card. For our non-shaker, you are gonna go ahead and take your acetate and trim that down as well. Before I adhere it, I am going to place my 3 balloons down. So repeat what you did with your balloons. So go ahead and pick your 3 colors and repeat your streamers. Okay, so now that I have added foam and my streamers to my balloons, and I've added my foam to my Celebrate, I've got my piece of vellum here, and I'm just going to, for now, set it over my Sunburst background. And I'm gonna do the same thing I did with my first card. I'm going to place 1 balloon down, then I'm gonna place my 2nd balloon down, then I'm gonna place my 3rd balloon down, and I'm gonna go right about there. And then I'm gonna flip over my piece of vellum, and I know where I could put my adhesive. So I am just gonna take at this point some craft glue, and I am just applying glue where my balloons are so you don't see any adhesive through your vellum. And I'm just gonna center that and now press down. Okay, and I've got my Celebrate. I'm gonna grab my balloon streamers, pull them together, center my Celebrate, place that down, trim off my balloon streamers, 1, 2, and 3. And then last but not least, I've got some of my really fun confetti pieces. And because this is a non-shaker, we are just gonna add some glue drops and place these on our card here. That is your Sunburst shaker card kit. So there is the shaker and the non-shaker version. Thank you so much. Again, make sure you check out the description for all the products I use as well as discounts. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.